9 May 2015. That was the last day Kaizer Chiefs lifted a cup. And it was the big one. The league title itself. 8 years, 8 months, and 18 days ago, or 3,185 days later, we haven't lifted another title. We've come close though, several times in fact. Losing 1-0 to Ajax in the MTN 8 in the 2015-2016 season. Losing 3-1 to Mamelodi Sundowns in the Telkom knockout final in that very same season, and the one that had me 1-0 to TS Galaxy in the 2018-2019 season. But the one that had me the most was losing the league on the last day in the 2019-2020 season. That was painful. After that, we went to play in Africa and we lost 3-0 to Alali in the African Champions League in 2020-21. And I have no idea to this day why Stuart Baxter chose to change his tactics. So what has been the main problem? Well, there are many, but in this video, we will look at recruitment and more specifically, the 5 worst signings over the past 8 years. Starting with number 5, Sula Matovu. The Ugandan winger who signed on July 8, 2015 from Al Najaf, who competes in the Iraqi Premier League. An undisclosed fee, but at the time, his market value was 75,000 euros, which if you convert it, it's going to lend you somewhere around 2 million rands. 5 games and no goals, he left the very following season, and that was just a waste. Number 4, and this is not a player but a coach, and it's Umlifi Ntsegi. As I said, I know he's not a player, but it still counts as a signing. After the management lost faith in the Mangete project, they went ahead and hired another coach who had not won anything in his career, taking things from bad to worse, not to mention that the players who had Kaizer Chiefs were requested by Arthur Zwane, and they just handed them to Ntsegi, who to say the least struggled to use them. 9 games, 3 wins, 2 draws, and 4 losses. Not to mention the exits from the MTN and the Carling Knockout Cups. My days. Number 3, Antony Akumu. Signed from Zesco United in January 2020 on a free transfer. This man was a defensive midfielder who could also play as a centre back. He played 47 games and scored 2 goals. I know that's not the main thing for a defensive midfielder, but he did fail to cement his place in the team despite having more appearances for Chiefs, 47, than his previous team Zesco, where he had 38 appearances. Yet he had more minutes for the latter, 3,006 minutes and 2,422 minutes for Kaizer Chiefs. What qualifies him for this is the fact that he came as a man who was potentially going to replace Katsande and was nowhere near the levels that Salt and Vinegar had set. Now let's go to number 2. Edmore Chirambadare. Signed from Chicken Inn in June 2016, he was brought in on an undisclosed fee again. He played mainly as a left winger, but could slot in anywhere across the front three. He got 23 league appearances in the league over 2 seasons, 18 coming in his first season and 5 coming in his second. He only had 1 assist to show for it. He was a different beast though in the Telkom knockout. He scored in every game he played for Chiefs. And by every game I mean 1. And he scored 1 goal. Prime Ronaldo, right? Number 1. This will make you cry. And that is Dex. This man right here is the reason why Kaizer Chiefs does not have a star above their page. Full name, Andrea Mirado Andrimnaminana. Joined Kaizer Chiefs in July 1 after claiming that his contract with Fossa Jr. had expired. This was music to the club's ears, but as history would have it, this was their most fatal mistakes since the drought started. After leaving Chiefs to join Leopards in 2019, Kaizer Chiefs were found guilty of illegal dealings involving Dex in February 2020, and they received a ban, 2 windows of not signing any player either domestically or internationally. This ruling affected Gavin Hunt's plans when he eventually came to coach Kaizer Chiefs. competing in the Champions League without any depth. And we know how important it is to have depth when you're playing in the Champions League. It would be a different story if he at least contributed in some way or the other. But no, he only had 1 goal in 10 appearances in the league and 1 assist in 4 cup games. And we got banned for this. So, in all of our signings mentioned, there seems to be a pattern, and that is finding shortcuts and not thinking long term. It reflects on the poor approach in our scouting. Most of the poached transfers seems to be players who are not even doing well where they came from. Some came from leagues that were nowhere near the level of South African football, which, although it has its own weaknesses, but is much higher than some of the leagues where these guys came from. Furthermore, most of these players were not wanted by anyone after they left Chiefs, which says a lot. Who are the top 5 players who you think are the worst signings that Kaizer Chiefs has had in the past 8 years? Do let me know on the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoya.